The prompt for this week's 52 circles is gather, and if you've been following along, you'll know this is the second time that this word has featured. So I'm using some thin paper, a bit of muslin, some sheer fabric, and I thought I'd show you some texture paste because a lot of people asked me about that during the recent Arts Week exhibition. So I'm just using a machine weight thread and I'm doing some running stitch through the paper first of all, and then pulling that tight to gather those stitches together and create a texture in the paper. And then just using a couple of stitches to secure those gathers in place. And I have to say that because I'd done gather already as a prompt, this one I'm really making up as I go along. So I'm going to put a piece of muslin over the top now, so a nice kind of loose weave fabric, plain weave, that will gather up nicely. And again, I'm stitching through the paper and the fabric this time to pull that tight and wrinkle it up. And then finally the piece of voile over the top. Again, just a couple of rows of running stitch to gather that up and create a textured surface. I then did a few hand stitches around to secure it to the calico base. This is the texture paste, which is from De La Rowney, and you can just scrape that across the surface of your fabric. I think you could probably use acrylic paint or gesso and get a similar effect. But what I like about this is it will hold the texture in the fabric when it dries, and also you can paint into it. So here I'm just demonstrating that by putting some Quink ink across the surface. And I quite like the way that just picks up the gathers, the kind of textures in the material. Just moving that around with a bit of water to spread it out. And as I was working, I thought, I wonder what it would be like if I undid some of the gathers and just loosen those so that you get a kind of distorted effect with the paint. So I'm just moving that around until I get an image that I'm happy with. So here is my second response to the word gather, and I hope you have fun with yours.